Every morning, the world begins again. Every sunrise carries with it an invitation, a quiet whisper that says, start over if you must. Think again. Become again. It's a truth so simple that most people overlook it. Each morning, your mind is reborn. What you feed it in those early moments becomes the foundation of your entire day and your entire life. Your mind is not a fixed thing. It's a living instrument, constantly reshaping itself around the ideas, beliefs, and emotions you allow inside it. And that is both the greatest danger and the greatest opportunity you will ever have. Because if you wake up and allow fear, doubt, and negative thinking to take the first seat in your consciousness, you begin your day as their servant. But if you wake up and deliberately, calmly, powerfully choose thoughts of faith, gratitude, purpose, and growth, then the day serves you. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's simply the law of cause and effect. Every morning thought is a seed. Plant weeds, and you will harvest frustration. Plant vision, and you will harvest success. The world belongs to those who understand this, those who realize that the greatest power in existence is not in money, status, or circumstance, but in the quiet, invisible workshop of the human mind. When you wake up in the morning, the first 5 minutes decide the direction of your next 16 hours. You can either begin by worrying, complaining, scrolling through noise, or you can begin by setting your compass towards success, reprogramming your inner world to create the outer life you desire. So how do you reprogram your mind every morning for massive success? You begin by remembering that success does not start with doing. It starts with thinking. Every action is born from a thought, and every destiny begins in the unseen territory of the mind. If you change your thinking, you change your world. The first act of reprogramming is awareness. You must become aware of the thoughts you have allowed to occupy your mental home. What do you think about most often? What are the first words you tell yourself when you wake up? For most people, their first thoughts are borrowed from yesterday's worries, from other people's expectations, from fears they never examined. But not you. You are here because you've chosen to become conscious. You are here because you've decided to take the steering wheel of your own mind. So tomorrow morning, before the noise, before the distractions, before you touch your phone, sit with yourself. Breathe deeply and say quietly, I am the architect of my thoughts. I decide what lives in my mind today. That one declaration is the beginning of mental freedom. Then feed your mind with purpose, not with fear, not with gossip, not with negativity masquerading as news. Instead, feed it with ideas that lift you. Feed it with gratitude for the breath in your lungs, for the opportunities ahead, for the simple fact that you are alive, able to think, to act, to create. Earl Nightingale once said, "We become what we think about." It's not a poetic idea. It's a psychological and spiritual law. Whatever dominates your attention shapes your character, and your character shapes your destiny. If you wake up thinking about what you lack, you'll live from a place of lack. If you wake up thinking about what you can give, you'll live from a place of abundance. The difference between the two is invisible, yet it determines the entire course of your day. Morning is the reset button of your mind. It's the quiet space between who you were yesterday and who you can become today. Don't waste it. Success is not something you chase. It's something you align with. You align with it through your thinking, through your belief, through the mental patterns you repeat each morning. And here's the secret. You don't need to fight your old thoughts. You simply need to replace them. Every time a negative thought arises, thank it, release it, and replace it with a thought that serves your growth. That's how reprogramming happens. Not in force, but in awareness and repetition. You might think of your mind as a garden. Every morning, you stand at its gate with a handful of seeds. What will you plant today? Doubt or determination? Fear or faith? Excuses or vision? Whatever you plant will grow. Not instantly, but inevitably. If you water your mind each morning with positive, disciplined, creative thinking, success becomes not an accident, but a result. Your actions will follow your beliefs like shadows follow light. And soon, the world will mirror what you have quietly built within. Every great achiever, every leader, every innovator, every creator, they all begin their day by commanding their minds. They understand that a calm, focused, and purpose-driven mind is unstoppable. So tomorrow morning, before you rush into the world, remind yourself, I am not here to react. I am here to create. Do not let the world tell you who you are. Tell the world who you intend to be. It begins with a single choice: to think better than yesterday, to rise a little higher in consciousness, to speak to yourself with love and power instead of fear and doubt. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not the voice that tells you it's too late. You are the awareness behind all of it. And that awareness is infinite. When you realize that, you begin to see that every morning is a sacred opportunity to reprogram your reality. There is a reason morning routines are powerful, because they turn thought into habit, and habit into destiny. When you wake up and consciously guide your first thoughts, you are training your subconscious mind to serve your higher vision. The subconscious doesn't argue. It obeys. Whatever message you send it, especially in the quiet morning, becomes the command that runs silently throughout your day. So choose your words wisely. Speak success, and success begins to move toward you. Speak health, and your body begins to respond. Speak peace, and your mind begins to quiet. The words you repeat are the software of your soul. Every morning is a new download, an update to your inner system. You decide whether it's filled with old bugs or new breakthroughs. There comes a time in every life when we realize that our outer results are nothing more than the echo of our inner dialogue. The career, the relationships, the confidence we carry, even the health we experience, each is shaped first in the theater of thought. To reprogram your mind each morning is to take control of that theater before the play begins. Most people never do. They rise, rush, and react. They let the noise of the world write the script of their day. But the man or woman who pauses, even for 5 quiet minutes, steps out of the crowd and enters the small circle of those who truly live. You see, your mind is like a stage. If you do not fill it deliberately with the actors you choose, gratitude, purpose, faith, clarity, then fear and doubt will walk on uninvited. The curtain always rises. The only question is who performs the opening act. Every morning, choose your cast. Let gratitude open the show. Let purpose deliver the lines. Let calmness guide the direction. Because once the first act is written in strength, the rest of the day tends to follow its rhythm. You don't need hours to do this. You only need sincerity. One clear thought of faith is stronger than 100 thoughts of worry. One deep breath taken with intention can reset an entire nervous system. That's the quiet science of the mind. It multiplies whatever you focus upon. So focus well. The law is simple. What you hold in consciousness expands in experience. It's as true in business as in health, in relationships as in personal peace. You cannot think failure all morning and then expect to speak success at noon. You cannot dwell on limitation and expect abundance to feel at home. Each morning, then, is your opportunity to adjust the dial, to tune the signal of your mind to a higher frequency. Imagine an old-fashioned radio. If you want to hear music, you turn the knob until static becomes melody. Your mind works the same way. Static is confusion, fear, doubt. Melody is faith, vision, gratitude. Turn the dial every morning until you can hear the music again. How do you do that? By asking better questions. Instead of, what if I fail? Ask, what can I learn if I try? Instead of, why is life so hard? Ask, how can I grow stronger from this? The quality of your morning questions determines the quality of your daily answers. Many people think success is the result of doing more, working harder, chasing faster. But true success, the kind that endures, comes from thinking better. Thought is the seed. Action is the blossom. Plant wisely, and the harvest will take care of itself. When you wake, you can begin your mental training as simply as this. Sit up, place your feet on the floor, take a slow breath and remind yourself, I am here on purpose. I am capable of good today. I will think thoughts that serve, words that uplift, and actions that build. Then before you move, visualize one thing you intend to accomplish. See it clearly. Feel it as done. Let that vision settle into the subconscious, where it begins its invisible work. Throughout the day, you'll feel moments of hesitation, waves of old doubt. That's normal. The mind, like a river, doesn't change direction instantly, but with gentle persistence it does. Keep steering morning after morning until the current flows where you wish it to go. Remember, persistence is not stubbornness, it's faith in motion. It's the quiet belief that repeated right thinking always yields right results. The successful individual understands something the ordinary thinker overlooks. You cannot escape the influence of your own thoughts, but you can direct them. And when you direct them with precision and calm discipline, life becomes cooperative. Doors seem to open, but those doors were always there. Your new awareness simply noticed them. Every morning you reprogram your mind, you reinforce that awareness. You begin to think in solutions instead of problems. You see possibilities where others see obstacles. You speak in the language of cause, not complaint. In time, this becomes your nature. Your mind begins to anticipate good outcomes, to expect progress. And expectation is a magnetic power. It draws to you people, opportunities, and events aligned with your dominant thought. This is why your mornings matter so much. They set the emotional weather of the day. If you begin cloudy, you tend to stay cloudy. If you begin in sunlight, faith, calm, purpose, the hours ahead reflect that same light. Even on difficult days, even when challenges arrive uninvited, a trained mind remains steady. It doesn't deny the storm. It simply remembers the sky behind it, and that remembrance changes everything. Perhaps you've noticed how some individuals seem unshakable, regardless of circumstance. They lose a deal, yet remain composed. They face criticism, yet respond with patience. They wake to uncertainty, yet proceed with quiet confidence. What's their secret? Their minds are trained. They practiced in the mornings when the world was silent. They rehearsed the thoughts of strength before the test arrived. And so must you. Don't wait for life to demand strength before you practice it. Build it now, each morning, in the solitude of your own room, in the stillness before the day begins. Think of it as tuning an instrument. The musician doesn't wait for the concert to start tuning. He tunes beforehand so that when the music begins, every note is clear. Your thoughts are those strings. Tune them in peace, and they will play beautifully under pressure. There is a humility in this practice, a recognition that no one drifts into greatness. We rise to it through deliberate mental effort. You will never outgrow the need for renewal, and that's not a weakness, that's a rhythm. Night is for rest, morning is for creation. Creation of what? Not only of work, but of self, your renewed attitude, your sharpened focus, your refreshed gratitude. Every morning you recreate the person who will face the world. That person, shaped in thought, determines everything that follows. Let's go deeper still. Reprogramming the mind isn't about forcing positive thoughts. It's about returning to truth. The truth that you are capable of more than you've allowed yourself to believe. The truth that failure is feedback, not identity. The truth that worry is imagination misused. And above all, the truth that peace, success, and joy are not destinations. They are states of mind available right now. When you sit quietly each morning and center yourself in those truths, you tap into a power greater than circumstance. You begin to work with life rather than against it. You begin to see that success isn't something you chase down the road, it's something you awaken within. So tomorrow morning, as the sun lifts above the horizon, try this. Before speaking to anyone, speak to your mind. Tell it the story you wish to live today. Tell it that you will remain calm under pressure, kind under provocation, focused amid distraction. Tell it that your thoughts will be disciplined and your heart open. Then throughout the day, return to that story whenever you lose balance. Just as a captain glances back to his compass, glance back to your morning alignment. You'll find your direction again. Do this long enough, and you'll notice that success no longer feels like climbing, it feels like unfolding. Opportunities, ideas, and connections begin to appear naturally because you've created mental conditions for them to grow. That is the quiet genius of a trained morning mind. It doesn't demand, it attracts. It doesn't struggle, it aligns. And through alignment, it achieves more in peace than others do in panic. Remember this simple sequence. First thought, then feeling. First feeling, then action. First action, then result. Change the first, and you change the last. If you desire better results, start with better morning thoughts. And if you falter, begin again tomorrow. There is always another sunrise. In time, you'll discover that your morning practice has changed more than your days. It has changed your identity. You will think differently, speak differently, walk differently. You will carry a stillness that others can feel, a confidence that doesn't shout, a peace that doesn't waver. People will ask, "What happened to you?" You'll smile, because you know It wasn't an event, it was a habit. It was 1,000 mornings spent reprogramming the mind, choosing calm over chaos, faith over fear, creation over reaction. And when you look back,